참제 학삼 소야님의 외설다 tenjung kunse yingne hamer sharwana jenden kungi lotu pemo gezebe shidi deben chimbu cho der peba kebasa rimi kendo yongla tsejin duzi gun tenjung dukde pegi rabdo genche ne nyawar jinze zamling namke genjikbu Kamgun chunze wangbo nedir jombalek. Tarche sishi zugen sadin gede yongzo gingada. Jigden shidi deben kangjin tenru yongi gongya pungin sunda machiba. Hegi lana mebe uti. Jino konsa kamgun kundin chupshiba chimbu chola. Chang Amerike pimi jidin sokba chiyone. Chidar sundip shudun dar. Ponsa cho gongda gyeju tambar pebe ku tunga tang gombo kangi la kadin jedin shugyu tendin zegu to chibgyu kyana zebar ning takba ne kadin lame do che His Holiness the Dalai Lama has very kindly accepted North American Tibetan Association's prayer to grace this very special occasion with the honoring of His Holiness' 80th birthday and express our heartfelt gratitude for your love, kindness, and leadership. I would like to welcome the dignitaries from White House, U.S. Congress, New York City Commissioner Penny Abeyewardene, Sejong Central Tibetan Administration, and Speaker of Tibetan Parliament in Exile, and also welcome to all of you who have come today to celebrate this blessed day. Thoma America ta Canada he gegap chimbuchege gelu byu. We will begin this afternoon's gratitude ceremony with the singing of national anthem of United States of America, Canada, and Tibet. Now will everyone rise for the singing of the national anthems.
下去。往你先去过来，学的，就是过来，就是，快就出去了，得去，干不了。
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Yeah, when she only said. Sorry.
도체나 참말로 슈덴자고
Oh yeah, we have to take out that cutter now.
다리 진노 고스kam고 첨부초 공단 겨줄 패배 구 겨든 길루야 믹스지가 자 아메리게 프리 지도 속반에 구티 쉬유 루셰디 칙잠난게 뉴욕이야 슈덴자베 추사름시레 셰기 담당다 아니 르야 잠난게 너가 surba 겐텐진 노블라 나마니레 진짜 추사
Tibetans have in North America have composed a special song in praise of His Holiness' 80th birthday, and it was written by Chusang Rinpoche. And the lyrics were written by Chusang Rinpoche, and then others have composed the tune. So 250 students are going to sing this song in celebration of the 80th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, holding a white scarf, ceremonial scarf in their hands. And I would like to request the children to put the scarves on their own neck after finishing singing this special song in honor of His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 80th birthday.
The week and Tibetan language students will sing a special birthday song for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, followed by a birthday cake cutting. 도체나 삼로 슈덴 자로나 Now, His Holiness birthday cake cutting will begin, and I want the public to sing along. Let's sing to His long life. We will sing happy birthday to you, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, His Holiness. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, His Holiness. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, all wonderful people. Do we feel blessed today? Yes. Malaso, ala, shoshayishi, novo menare, sondale moso. 도체나, 행겨 수된다고. 삼대 장 아메리게 비미 지도 노브스렌라네 벽에 또 거수 숭셰난규. Welcome speech by North America Tibetan Parliament member Mr. Norbu Siringla.
Ranja, Pu Kawa Gonjin Jongi, Kindu Namge Medo, Gangla Pepe, Lagi Gagun Ningji, Rangsu Cho, Rangsu Jikde, Wanju Domzun, Mumik, Kirgi number Rurba, Laji Seshi
His
Suki,
Holiness the Dalai Lama
Jikden Shede
is a
Debu, Sade
manifestation of
Gade Yongzo, Ngada,
Avalokiteshvara,
Samson Chuki
the
Gebo, Gobata
Buddha of
Dungi Led,
compassion,
Chen Yone Muna,
who
Jizun
has
Jambe
appeared
Ngawan
in the
Losan
form of
Yishi,
human
Tenzin
being,
Gyatso
and
Susum,
his
Wanju
name
Tsungpa
goes
Mebe De,
Jiten Jambe Ngawan
Pe
Losan
Sangpo
Yishi
Cho,
Tenzin Gyatso,
Jikden Kindu Jita Kebar, Gangre
the
Jongi
glorious
Nyamdabe, Tujan Namla, Tuzebe Nyebar Gonde, Samshi.
So since the reincarnations of Avalokiteshvara appeared in the world, we feel fortunate that His Holiness the Dalai Lama is amongst us, healthy, hale and hearty, and therefore we have that the Central Tibetan Administration has decided to celebrate this year as the gratitude year for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Therefore, on behalf of all Tibetans, the Tibetan Parliament has brought out a resolution in gratitude of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So I'd like to present briefly the report of the Tibetans in North America. Innumerable reincarnations of His Holiness the Dalai Lama have appeared to serve humanity and other beings. Since the first Dalai Lama, the Gindan Drup, the Dalai Lamas have appeared in the form of as monks, monastics, and helped the well-being of people of Tibet as well as the spread of Buddha Dharma. So at this degenerate time of ours, due to your past prayers, aspirational prayers, you have appeared in this life. And you have become a scholar, a crowning jewel of the scholars amongst Tibetan scholars. And at this critical juncture of Tibetan history, you have taken the dual responsibility of the Tibetan nation, and then you also established the democratic system of Tibetan government in exile. You have also, while in Tibet, tried to democratize the government. But then, after all your effort and goodwill, things didn't go well because of the Chinese aggression, and therefore you had to flee Tibet, and along with you, 80,000 Tibetans also fled our Tibet. And then after coming into exile, you have established the democratic government and also drafted the Tibetan constitution in exile. And also you have approached the United Nations in order to preserve our culture. You established the Tibetan government in exile, and also Tibetans were settled in the different settlements. And in these settlements, the monastic institutions also were set up to preserve our culture. You also have worked for harmony amongst all religious traditions in the world as well, while preserving our culture. You also established the Tibetan schools in exile in India, both day schools as well as boarding schools. And also, Tibetans also have been able to establish business enterprises. And also we have been able to preserve, thanks to you, Your Holiness, we have been able to preserve our own art and handicrafts. So not only Tibetans benefit, but also the people around the world also benefit from our culture, tradition. With the establishment of the Tibetan People's Deputies, you have led us to a fully democratized system of governance. And following the non-violent means, you have tried to resolve the Tibetan issue with the government of China, where Tibetans could enjoy self-determination by following the middle way approach. Not only Tibetans, but also Chinese intellectuals as well as people around the world have supported this middle way approach, which looks for a peaceful settlement of the Tibetan issue. So you have been working day and night for the well-being, for the welfare of Tibetan people. And also you have made the path of compassion and path of understanding emptiness imbued with the with compassion clear for people all around the world, which is the essence of the Buddha Dharma. And because of your great works, you have also been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize and other prestigious prizes. And you are known today as the champion of peace around the world, the great Dalai Lama. You also feel take the responsibility and concern for all humanity and other beings, for our happiness, and also you express concern for the global environment. And also you express your aspiration to resolve any conflict or in the world through dialogue and peaceful means. In accordance with the circumstances that prevailed, you have been working for the Tibetan people, and taking into account the reality of today, you have devolved your political responsibility taking into account the future of your people. In brief, for the Tibetan people to preserve our culture, you have been working hard, and it would be what you have done for us Tibetans is something we cannot repay enough. So the people, Tibetans in North America, to pay our gratitude. We are celebrating your 80th birthday here in gratitude of what you have done for us.
토체 나치도 노브스레라 차 아메리게 피미 고섭 된지 우가사 깨돌라네 인객나 거수 숭셰 난규. Welcome speech by representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama to North America, Mr. Kedor Okasang.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. The Office of Tibet recently had an essay contest to honor His Holiness the Dalai Lama on his 80th birthday. Tibetan youth residing in North America were asked to write on what does His Holiness the Dalai Lama mean to you? In his winning essay, Tashi from Amdo, Tibet, who fled to India to seek freedom and after finally fulfilling his dream of meeting His Holiness, wrote that His Holiness was neither the God that he had imagined with his family in Tibet, nor the demon the Chinese officials pushed him to believe. His Holiness was a spiritual teacher who taught him to love everyone equally, even the Chinese officials. To Tashi, His Holiness was a budding scientist, a deep philosopher and a thinker, a great scholar, a staunch peacemaker, and above all, just an amazing, simple human being. Most importantly, His Holiness was the source of Tashi's immense pride as a Tibetan. Tibetans are indeed blessed to have His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama as our beloved leader. His Holiness has steadfastly led the Tibetan people from the tender age of 16 and through the most challenging phase of our history. He has been a father, mother, teacher, and a great uniter, uniting all Tibetans into one people and one nation. He has provided us with modern education while keeping us anchored in our tradition and culture. He has not only revived Tibetan Buddhist culture in exile, but extended its influence exponentially and made it truly global. He has deeply ingrained the principles of democracy and nonviolence into the DNA of the Tibetan freedom movement and taught us to look at China and the Chinese government as a prospective peace partner rather than an eternal foe. Most of all, to Tibetans in Tibet, His Holiness is a source of inspiration and occupies a centrality in their lives as critical as a heart in the human body. The prospect of seeing His Holiness return to Tibet keeps their lives beating and their spirits high. No amount of Chinese repression, bribery, or indoctrination can undo this unbreakable bond between His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan people. His Holiness, however, is more than the leader of 6 million Tibetans. He is a global leader a peace icon, and a moral anchor of this world. He travels around the globe tirelessly promoting compassion, education of the heart, oneness of humanity, interfaith dialogue and harmony among different faiths, and preservation of Tibet's unique Buddhist culture and protection of its fragile environment. His Holiness transcends a singular religion or a group of people. He is, as he expresses time and time again, a simple human being, just like the rest of the 7 billion people, but he is an extraordinary simple human being. His Holiness bridges different faiths by revealing that all religions preach the same message of compassion, service, and love. He connects Buddhism and science by promoting the linkage of the inner world, the mind, and the outer world. He is helping reshape modern education by advocating for a curriculum that gives equal emphasis to education of the heart and fostering a more compassionate younger generation. He is bringing Tibetans and Chinese together by promoting reconciliation and a shared future of peaceful coexistence. Most importantly, His Holiness connects you and I to every other individual on this globe through his message of oneness of humanity. He stresses that each of us have a moral responsibility to participate in the solving of global issues, be it climate change, economic inequality, sectarian violence, or non-proliferation. His Holiness firmly believes that we can create a more peaceful world, not simply through prayers, but through action. Actions that you and I, as individuals, can take and inspire others towards a more peaceful, compassionate, and happy world. Happy birthday, Your Holiness, and thank you. This day-long program of gratitude organized by the North American Tibetan community expresses our profound gratitude for all that you have done and continue to do for Tibetans and the world. May Your Holiness live long, and may the aspirations of Tibetans in Tibet in seeing your return to home in Tibet be realized in this lifetime. And finally, may Your Holiness continue to be the light that shines in darkness and remain to dispel the miseries of the world.
Thank you, Kedola. To make this program more interesting for Your Holiness and our special guest, we have tried to mix the cultural program with the remarks. Chizi ge nimu chang Amerike puri jidun chokbe rikshu tabden gi dendu nane chiba chunga nane ang thangbu zibu tuen nanke Canada puri tunzo ki labde luptu chuwane konsucho la lushe bugyu. very much, Weekend Tibetan language students from Canadian Tibetan Association of Ontario. We all love you so much. Thank you. Next, I invite Dr. Sigyo Lobsa Sengela to say a few words on the occasion. Pande Sigyo Lobsa Sengecho ne Sungshe Nangyo.
라제 스시 주게 직대 시대 대배
The crowning jewel of samsara and nirvana, the peace champion of peace, the manifestation of Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of compassion, and the leader of the Tibetan people. This is mentioning the full name, long name of His Holiness. On this auspicious occasion of your birthday, according to the Western calendar, on behalf of all Tibetans, inside and outside, I would like to say Tashitelet in your greeting you. Your Holiness, in our history, Tibetan history, at a very critical juncture, at a very tender age, you took the dual responsibility of the Tibetan nation, and ever since you have been kind to the Tibetan people. And we would like to thank you from the depth of our heart. Your Holiness, you have given your advice to us very kindly, and we would like to pledge that we will do our best to carry on your advice. And we would like to request you to live long. We would like to fervently pray for you to live long. As everyone knows, the 14th Karshak, the Tibetan cabinet, in 2014, we made this resolution to make the year gratitude year, year of gratitude for His Holiness Dalai Lama. So the reason is, of course, the elder generation already know about it, but not leaving it to the knowledge of only the elder generation, but also we felt that it is important for us to make it, to raise the awareness of the younger generation of Tibetans, how kind His Holiness has been to us in Tibetans. And therefore, accordingly, we have the Tibetans everywhere in India and the West have celebrated in various ways this gratitude year, and therefore we are now celebrating the 80th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And on the 21st of June, which fell this year exactly on the 5th day of the 5th Tibetan lunar month, which is the day when His Holiness was born. According to the Tibetan calendar, we have been able to celebrate the traditional birthday of His Holiness, and on that occasion, all the head lamas of the different Tibetan traditions, and also elderly monks from the different traditions attended the celebration. And it was a unique celebration since we came into exile. And we also had the ministers from the central Indian government as well as Arunachal governor attending this, and also the celebration has been quite grand. I would like to tell everyone here. And here in New York, we have huge gathering, and therefore the North American Tibetans have organized this celebration, which has been really successful. And therefore, on behalf of the Kashak and the Central Tibetan Administration, I would like to thank you. The celebration of the birthday of His Holiness is fortunate. We should feel we are fortunate for this. But we need also, what we do is the main thing to pay the gratitude, His Holiness, His kindness. Is to practice what His Holiness advises us to do. So His Holiness advises us to be kind people and good persons, and wherever we are Tibetans, His Holiness emphasizes the importance of keeping up with our good tradition of living a moral life on a daily basis, weekly, monthly and yearly basis. It is very important, from the Kashak's point of view, we see it very important to emphasize this point, to practice what His Holiness teaches and advises. And finally, I'd like to pray for His Holiness's long life, and that all his noble aspirations may be fulfilled effortlessly. Thank you.
On behalf of Tibetans inside and outside Tibet, happy 80th birthday to Your Holiness, the great 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. Thank you for your leadership and for your lifelong commitment to your contribution to human happiness and promotion of universal responsibility to foster religious harmony and to safeguard Tibet's culture and environment. Your Holiness, you have authored over 100 books and traveled to over 60 countries. You have received the Nobel Peace Prize and over 150 international awards for having inspired the world through wisdom and compassion. Nobel laureates call Your Holiness the Super Laureate. But lesser known are your other contributions. Your Holiness, you are a true democrat, deeply loved and respected by your people. You have empowered us with democracy and hope. You are an environmentalist who speaks on global warming, climate change, and Tibet as the third pole, which is a major source of river for Asia. You are an advocate of equality and justice who speaks strongly against the growing gap between the rich and the poor. Your Holiness, you call yourself a simple Buddhist monk. But for people around the world, you are the beacon of hope and light to all the people. For Buddhists, you are the human manifestation of Bodhisattva of compassion. But above all, for Tibetans, you are the life and soul of Tibet. Your Holiness, may you live many, many, many more years and continue to shine as the luminous daylight. On behalf of the Tibetan people, Buddhists all over the world, and millions touched by your message of peace, happy birthday, Your Holiness, the great 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. Thank you.
Thank you, Sigyong Lobsang Singla. Today, in this occasion, we have several hundreds of Mongolian brothers and sisters. So from their part, the Mongolian group, Tuva, Kalmukia, and Buryat is going to present a song. Hongsa chogi ku chungar sungsi gadeng na gade tosum genyamshu na be sogri minakane shena singbu shukyu.
Praise to His Holiness Dalai Lama XIV Tenzin Gyatso for his 80 years anniversary on Tuvan and Buryat language. I hope translators can translate Tuvan and Buryat. Arık şınca oruvustu aytıp surgar, arıglaşkın puyan setkil çayap çorur. Süzüklerge ömercikçi öndür başkı, çütülgenin çölengiji temdek küçü. Tenzin Gyatso Dalai Lama başkıvısты, telgere edip bayır mengdi söngep turbes. Tıva жерге sarık şajın ödün közep, tıngarık bağın açınarını utpas tabes. Амылыглар шыптузынга тузагадып, ачы жолдук чуртарыңар йөреп турбес. Далай Лама өндүр улук башкыбызга таңды тыва байыр сөңнеп пара алгап тур.
Кундытын мане далай бакша, ондыр найына ханетне ойгор амыршылынып де. Беди монгол шут, уйго уйды, таны тамыргыжа, амиты бурхынгыжа толдыгып де. Угло бурен нарне толыни харыжа, удыр буре сетхилде урелте дежетте. Найын хая надыхын занда, ерін хая инехін занда, зон хая зуғалың ұқтайетіне құсынып де. Элу рынқы, отын ағыты, одан жарғылты, мүмкін ұрты епқытыне болдығы. Юре! Выходим, давай.
Thank you.
Быстро.
Tetzenasen, Tagagichin, Altarasen, Hurrinanchin, Archenasen, Hurrichin, Altanasen, Eskagar, Hadri Savadot.
We have one more coming up from Mongolia. Thank you. That was a beautiful dance from Mongolia, ethnic Mongols, or Buryati, Tuva, and Kalmykia. Thank you very much. Now I invite Speaker of Tibetan Parliament in Exile, Mr. Pemba Tsering La, to say a few words.
nga khogab khadu ragu na sam go de bi
I was waiting for my
yang phene le
turn.
nga ne tham ne dog re sabre
When they started singing and dancing, I thought I would
with
have
due
also go
obeisance to
to this
His Holiness the
stage.
Dalai Lama. On behalf of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile, it's an honor for me to say that we have former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who is an ardent and long-time supporter of Tibet and a very, very good friend of His Holiness. And today we also have senior advisor to President Barack Obama, Ms. Valerie Jarrett. She is so close to President Obama that we can say President Obama's heart and mind is here with us today. And Richard, of course, Richard La, as I call him. Professor Ming Xia from the City University of New York. And an very old friend of us, Mr. Matteo Mecacci, President of International Campaign for Tibet. And all other guests present on the dais, it's my privilege to say a very warm welcome to all of you. I will not take too much time to speak in English. I would only say that despite the tragic times that we went through, it was a huge loss for us that we lost our country. But because of what we lost, the rest of the free world gained His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And since much has been said about His Holiness Dalai Lama, I'm sure he must be quite tired of listening his praises for so many days in the last so many celebrations. Nyatani kogab disimje ani jino konstangu chumcho New York da.
I take this opportunity where His Holiness is invited by the 31 different organizations across the North America, Tibetan organizations, for giving me this their invitation to come here to this 80th birthday celebration of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Of course, as an ordinary person, I cannot actually mention all the great deeds of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Everyone actually knows what His Holiness's legacy. But I would like to thank His Holiness for all his whatever he has done for the whole of the world, and particularly the Tibetans. From the depths of my heart, I would like to thank His Holiness. And through this celebration, His Holiness, of course, has given teachings and gave lots of advice to us in the last 2 days. And Tibetans are undergoing a huge change inside Tibet because of China's policies to eliminate Tibetan identity and culture. So despite that, in exile, we Tibetans in India, as well as many Western countries where Tibetans have migrated, and here we are 14,000 Tibetans from across the North America. So I'd like to reiterate to you, not only should we gather when His Holiness the Dalai Lama comes here, but we need to be aware of our own situation, and we need to be aware that we have a special responsibility to preserve our own culture and tradition. And so this we should feel a great responsibility indeed. If we remain united, the external forces cannot do much. If we cannot live united, if we are not united, then of course in society there are lots of problems. We cannot deal with the problems, and therefore we need to stay united and deal with our problems, especially the bigger issues in our society. And so as His Holiness the Dalai Lama has said this morning, we need to keep deep in our minds what His Holiness has advised us, not only here when we are gathered, but even after leaving this place to your own places. So we need to see where we are actually, what drawbacks we have and what we have not been able to do for His Holiness. So of course you are taking interest in our own culture. The elder generation are aware of our own culture, religion, but we need to also pass this culture and tradition to our younger generation. And therefore, the present generation, if the present generation is not able to actually nurture the younger generation, then we would have a difficult time in the future. So because we have our organizations around the country here, Tibetans are able to gather wherever His Holiness goes. So for the last 50, 60 years, His Holiness has worked hard for us, establishing the democratic system of governance and giving the political leadership to the elected leaders of the people. Whether we are successful or not in our dealings is dependent on the people's doing. And so there are people also who do not take care much of our cause. And then with regard to the donation that we gather, some people actually feel quite sorry to give their money to our general cause, but when they have to spend for several hundreds of dollars to greet some friends, to have some party, then they are not so they don't find it so dear they're able to use up such money. So it is not right for our people to gather when His Holiness the Dalai Lama and other higher lamas come to you, whereas forgetting our cause on a daily basis. So we had a competition of song and dance, and so since we had 3 winners, we couldn't have all three groups, but we have this group here to present their dance from the Kongpo region, southeast Tibet.
China, Minnesota Lupruso, New York Chungiki, Zula Luprucheme Lobe Gary, Ming Xia, Kitam Nangyu. Professor Ming Xia from the City University of New York will give a short remark.
Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Your Holiness. And the Chinese, I want to testify in front of all of you about what His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, means for Chinese. Here I want to quote the Lotus Sutra. If there were countless hundreds of thousands of billions of living beings experiencing suffering and agony, who heard of this regarder of the Christ of the word Bodhisattva, and wholeheartedly called his name, regarder of the crisis of the word Bodhisattva would immediately hear their cries, and all of them would be freed. I was lucky to have escaped an evil state by coming to America, but I did not escape the state of evil. To free myself, I have actively sought guidance from many churches, but I did not find my way. 6 years ago, I was found by the regarder of the Christ of the word Bodhisattva. His Holiness has realized the importance of reaching out to the overseas Chinese communities, not only for the well-being of Tibetans, but also for the well-being and happiness of 1 billion Chinese. Therefore, I could exercise my free will to realize a special flight away from the evil state, but my spiritual evolution was achieved only with the teaching and enlightenment from His Holiness. Just from His Holiness teaching and yesterday and today, and I have learned, in enlightenment, a person meditates upon emptiness. In ignorance, a person believes he or she is a body with a soul. Then, what is the state when someone thinks that he or she is a body without a soul? I can only call it the state of evil. Unfortunately, I have lived in that state for decades. And sadly, until today, hundreds of thousands of Chinese remain in this state. And the Chinese, I know His Holiness is valuable for my motherland, where too many people are out of their minds due to desire, greed, and impatience. Mindfulness is the best possible teaching the Chinese can get from His Holiness. But as a political scientist, I want to share my observation to cherish His Holiness' leadership. In 1982, the late American political scientist Aaron Wildavsky published his book, Moses as Political Leader, in which he wrote, in terms of versatile leadership, Moses may be compared with no one. Now I can say with certainty that we have seen someone who has accomplished the same, if not a wider range of versatile leadership. The Dalai Lama is the protector for Tibetans in exile, the guardian of Tibetan culture and heritage, an advocate for Tibetan modernization, a teacher and a student of Buddhism, a leader and administrator for the Tibetan government exile, a philosopher, a reformer, a rebel, a diplomat, a moralist, an environmentalist, a feminist, a philanthropist, a humorist, a global political and religious leader. This list can go on. In addition to the versatile leadership, more importantly, His Holiness has provided a different type of leadership. If the signature style of Mosaic leadership or the Judaic Christian leadership is resentment and fury, then the Buddhist leadership, epitomized in His Holiness, features with compassion and equanimity. As the entire world has been troubled by the conflicts along the Himalaya range among all major religions at this moment, and we can celebrate the fact that Dalai Lama's Buddhist leadership offers a solution to the conflicts along the Himalaya fault line. If we have a leader standing tall on the Himalaya, I would like to quote a sentence from the oldest collection of Chinese poems compiled by Confucius, Book of Poetry, 高山仰止，景行行止. In front of a high mountain, look up with respect. In front of a great way, step up with delight. Long live Dalai Lama.
Thank you, Professor Ming Xia. Next, we have a cultural performance from Bhutanese community of New York. Dugbe Shana Kajik Jambishukyu.
Sunjo de to shi se shi sonjo de don ka jo ti se ti sonjo de don ka jo ti se ti
Thank you, our Buddhist brothers and sisters. Arilonye Tapnabata, Yodo Gyabgyowa, Kushab Richard Gere Ki Sungshe Nangyo. Prominent Hollywood actor and longtime friend of Tibetans, Mr. Richard Gere, will speak on the occasion.
Tashi Dale. Tashi Dale, my Tibetan brothers and sisters. And Tashi Dale, my Inji brothers and sisters. Of course, we're here for something very special, which is to wish His Holiness an 80th birthday. But you know, it's very special to be here with all of you. 16,000 people here in New York. But also this incredible Sangha who is up here. And our leaders from Tibet and Rinpoches on the other side of the stage. And Valerie and Nancy and Lamsen Sangye, the Sikkyong. This is a really incredible group of people. I've often spoken in front of His Holiness, and when I come out like this, it's wonderful because when I look out in the audience, everyone is smiling, and I know they're not smiling for me. I also never forget, ever, 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 how fortunate I am, and what an honor it is to be with all of you especially, but His Holiness is some extraordinary opportunity for all of us. One, to even hear the Dalai Lama's name, to see his face, to take teachings, Buddhist teachings from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. What an extraordinary opportunity for all of us. And I have to thank him also for his incredible patience for yet again teaching shunyata. I don't know how many millions of times you've taught emptiness over and over and over again. And I know you're going to do it again for the rest of your life. And I think that's the most generous thing that you do. There's a story that a friend of mine wrote in one of her books, and it's actually a Native American story, but I think it would work just as well if it was a Tibetan story. And the story is of a grandfather, so this Tibetan grandfather talking to his grandson. And he says to him, you know, I have 2 wolves inside of my heart. One of the wolves is really kind and generous and loving and compassionate. And the other one is selfish and angry and violent and difficult. It says they're fighting all the time inside my heart. And his grandson looks at him and says, Grandpa, which one is going to win? And the grandfather looks down and he says, whichever one I feed. I want to thank His Holiness the Dalai Lama for spending a lifetime teaching us how to feed the kind and generous and loving wolf inside our hearts. And how fortunate we are to continually be reminded by His Holiness. No one works harder than the Dalai Lama. I work hard, people here work hard, everyone says no one works harder than the Dalai Lama. Every day teaching, giving himself completely for us. I've actually tried to stay up with His Holiness. I last about 2 or 3 days, and then I'm exhausted. I know it happens with the attendants also. They have to run in teams to sleep and then stay up with His Holiness. There's another story that I'd like to say, especially when I've had the incredible opportunity to travel with His Holiness around the world, and I think I've been with His Holiness almost every continent except Africa and Antarctica. Other than that, I think now that I've been everywhere, because we were just in Australia, and there was an incredible teaching there. His Holiness, again, was so loving and kind to everyone. I think you all remember the movie Kundun that Marty Scorsese made. It's a really beautiful movie, kind of a biography of His Holiness's life. And I was there fortunate enough when His Holiness saw the movie the first time in New York. And Marty had a screening of it, and there were maybe 15 of us, 20 of us there who were at the screening, and we're in a really beautiful screening room at Lincoln Center. And His Holiness was sitting in the front row, and we were all kind of looking the movie, but we were really watching His Holiness watch the movie of his life. And when the movie was over, we all kind of looked at him and we asked him to give a comment, and he really didn't want to right then. And we said, okay, let's go, we'll have some tea, we'll have some cookies. And about half an hour later, we were enjoying ourselves, and I said, Your Holiness, please, would you speak to us? And as I don't know if you remember the film, but the last part of the film was His Holiness with his Kampa warriors making it to India. Well, His Holiness said, you know, as in the movie, I remembered very well when I crossed the border from Tibet into India, and my Kampa warriors rode back into Tibet, and I knew I would never see them again. And I watched as they went into the distance, little figures, and they were gone. And I looked back, and there was India in front of me, and there were people I really didn't know, and I felt totally alone, no friends in the world. And now, 50 years later, he has all the friends in the world anyone could ever want. And we all know people who have a moment where they kind of reveal themselves and they become stars for a moment, in a way like movie stars. There's a moment where they become something special. But usually most of us are found out very quickly. His Holiness has been on the world stage for 60 years now, and he'll never be found out. He's the one genuine, extraordinary person that I've ever met in my life. So I just want to finish up here by saying this is His Holiness's 80th birthday, but I want to make a date with everyone that we'll be back here for his 90th birthday, for his 100th birthday, for his 110th birthday, and his 120th birthday right here. Bye-bye. Tashi Delek. Happy birthday, Your Holiness.
Thank you, Mr. Richard Gere. Next, Himalaya Rikyu Peyu Taru Kuki Shena Singbu Shugyu. Culture performance by people from Taru, Nepal.
आँखामा फुलै संसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार फुलको आँखामा फुलै संसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार झुल्किन्छ है छाया वस्तु अनुसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार फुलको आँखामा फुलै संसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार चित्त शुद्ध होस् मेरो बोली बुद्ध होस् मेरो पैतालाले हिरै नमरोस् चित्त शुद्ध होस् मेरो बोली बुद्ध होस् मेरो पैतालाले हिरै नमरोस् राम्रो आँखामा खोल्छ राम्रै संसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार फुलको आँखामा फुलै संसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार
हिमालकै जलधारा एउटैको छ नाम कति
हिमालकै जलधारा एउटैको छ नाम कति जाति हेर हर भोलि पारी सब एउटै हो छरिएर बसेके हो सन्तान एउटै हो
Thank you, our brothers and sisters from Nepal. Pande Sekun Choki, Mixe Kondun, Aris Sinsin Chok, Lobden Bade Bacham, Valerie Jarrett Motonangyu.
The Sikyong of the Central Tibetan Administration will introduce the senior advisor to President Obama, Mrs. Valerie Jarrett. I'd like to thank Richard Gere. And please let me introduce Ms. Valerie and Nancy.
Valerie B. Jarrett is a senior advisor to President Barack Obama. She oversees the offices of public engagement and intergovernmental affairs and chairs the White House Council on Women and Girls. Valerie Jarrett has worked throughout her tenure at the White House to mobilize elected officials, business and community leaders, and diverse groups of advocates behind efforts to strengthen and improve access to the middle class, to boost American businesses and American economy, and to champion equality and opportunity for all Americans, from ongoing campaigns to end sexual assault, raise the minimum wage, advocate workplace policies that empower working families, and promote entrepreneurship and early childhood education. Mrs. Jarrett has helped the President develop a broad coalition of partners to execute a robust agenda. Valerie Jarrett has received her BA from Stanford University in 1978 and a JD from the University of Michigan Law School in 1981. Please give her a big hand. Oh.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to the monks and the people of Tibet, to the leaders and dignitaries and incredible performers who are here today, and to all of you gathered in this amazing room, good afternoon. And what an amazing afternoon it is. It is an honor to be among so many friends of His Holiness as we celebrate his extraordinary life of a man that we all admire and respect. I come here today on behalf of President Barack Obama to convey the birthday wishes of the American people to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. There are very few individuals that have a truly global presence, and even fewer who have used that presence to make such a powerful and positive contribution to humanity. both through his words and, importantly, his deeds. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has become an ambassador for peace, for justice, and for nonviolence. He has inspired us all to speak up for the dignity of every human being. And he has been unwavering in his conviction that there is most certainly more that unifies us than could possibly divide us. In this sense, he is a man for this moment. At a time when voices of intolerance seek to sow division along religious and racial and ethnic lines, the Dalai Lama serves as a powerful counterweight, for he is a uniter. His teachings challenge us to promote religious harmony among all faiths and traditions, and the unwavering persistence of his message of compassion serves as a moral compass for all of us during this extraordinarily challenging time in our world's history. But the Dalai Lama is not a billboard who merely looks good from a distance. I know this from personal experience that I am humbled to say. I had the incredible opportunity of visiting His Holiness in Dharamsala back in 2009. I spent time at his private residence, and I visited the community that has thrived under his spiritual leadership in exile for 56 years. The Dalai Lama and I discussed the importance of a lifelong commitment to giving voice to the voiceless, and by the example he has set, he truly gave me a renewed strength to never lose sight of our collective and our individual responsibility to be unwavering forces for good. I felt the profound connection between he and his many followers. I visited a monastery, I visited a school, I visited an orphanage, all that he had established. I saw the extraordinary efforts that he had undertaken to preserve the Tibetan religious, cultural, and linguistical traditions. And I will never, ever forget the joyful, healthy children who I met who were being raised by loving and nurturing adults in an orphanage that is 54 years old. And in fact, I discovered that many of the adults in the orphanage had been raised in that very same orphanage and were giving back to the children of today. After that amazing trip to Dharamsala, I returned to the United States and I told President Obama that His Holiness had changed my life. And I meant it. Now, I hasten to add that later, His Holiness said to the President that he thought I was exaggerating when I said that. But I was not. He truly changed my life. And each time our paths have crossed, since that very first visit to Dharamsala, the Dalai Lama has touched my heart and has been an ongoing source of deep and true inspiration for me, as I know he is for all of you. On a personal note, I just want to say publicly what I hope you know privately, which is I treasure you and I am humbled, deeply humbled, to be able to call you my friend. And so today, as we join here and so many people around the world in celebration of an extraordinary life of this great leader, a good and a decent man, a compassionate and honest man, a spiritual and intellectual man, a man, I hasten to say, with amazing grace. And so I close the way I began, which is to say to you, on behalf of President Barack Obama, I wish you, sir, a continued health and strength and vigor for at least until you reach the age of 120. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Madam Valerie Jarrett. Se genyengi rikshun tabdungi dendu nala somi gembe tabdung.
The senior students winner of competition of song and dance. We have 2 winners, and therefore we had a vote, and who would perform here. So the group from Washington, D.C. will perform today.
Toshik Jambishuyeyin, a cultural performance by Washington, D.C. Tibetan Association Dance Group.
Oh, Bao sitting in the front. Video for the Raman.
DC này như là DC này như là
Namju.
thì cái tiếng là của DC này có sao là yeah ready
thanda ki 참나 di DC ne ani reba chugi chamlo la take ne sam
Well, let's go! Ya reza mazo tambo ngala jidon se deni ngala sumdon se deni ngala shidon se ngame rutsini ma cheda ngaja jamsundani ya sinda kambe dodo labi kamto lich nyamju ngaji rela doji re ngada rela doda re shi phinsu zubi repa yamoshi tawsho amore reza macho
Tojichi, thank you. Banden, Sigun Chone, Jam Nancy Pelosi, Modu Nangyu.
Acha Nancy ki loju jingdu shuchawachi. Nancy Pelosi is the Democratic leader of the House of Representatives in the 114th Congress. From 2007 to 2011, she served as the first woman Speaker of the House. And she has led House Democrats for more than a decade. Pelosi has represented San Francisco, California's 12th district for 28 years. In 2013, she was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. Pelosi brings to her leadership position a distinguished record of legislative accomplishment. She led the Congress in passing the historic health insurance reform, key investments in college aid, clean energy and innovation, and initiatives to help small businesses and veterans. She has been a powerful voice for civil rights and human rights around the world for decades, obviously including the issue of Tibet. Leader Pelosi comes from a strong family tradition of public service in Baltimore. Married to Paul Pelosi, she is a mother of 5 and grandmother of 9, and a true friend of Tibet. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. When I was told about today's festivities, I was told that there would be speeches from visitors, and in between there would be cultural performances. As I sit here now, I think we've come for an afternoon of cultural performances with a few speeches in between. Aren't we inspired by the cultural performances that we have seen today? How wonderful. Your Holiness, it is with profound gratitude and humility that I am deeply honored for the privilege to join you for this blessed celebration of your 80th birthday. And to do it in the company of Rigdan Dolma, Singyang Dr. Lomsang Thangje, Speaker Searling, Richard Gere. Oh my goodness, Richard Gere, thank you for your persistent advocacy, leadership, and long-term dedication to His Holiness and the people of Tibet. And to join Valerie Jarrett, who early in President Obama's administration, right at the start, met with His Holiness in India, as she mentioned, on behalf of the President, and thank you for bringing his greetings today. It's an honor to be with the monks who are here. And I want to go from Valerie's comments to say that it was President Obama who earlier this year, at the National Prayer Breakfast in February, he said this. He said that His Holiness the Dalai Lama is a powerful example of what it means to practice compassion, who inspires us to speak up for the freedom and dignity of all human beings. President Barack Obama earlier this year. I have some wishes on His Holiness's birthday, and I wish that you all could have seen the response that statement made at that breakfast in appreciation. Richard, you were there. You saw the response. People watching on TV saw it. I wish you all could have. For many presidents, His Holiness has been an enduring example of how world leaders must practice compassion and defend the dignity of the downtrodden. Again, another president, President Bush, I was blessed to be Speaker of the House when the Congress of the United States presented His Holiness with a Congressional Gold Medal. In 2007, Richard, you were there. And I wish you could have seen at that ceremony, President Bush called His Holiness, quote, a universal symbol of peace and tolerance, a shepherd for the faithful, and the keeper of the flame of His people. But His Holiness, I come as a civic leader, I come also to brag about the connection His Holiness has had with our country and with presidents of the United States. Many presidents have honored this keeper of the flame over the years. The first one was Franklin Roosevelt. As a young child, the Dalai Lama received a gold watch from President Franklin Roosevelt, showing the phases of the moon and the days of the week. The watch is a simple symbol of the lasting friendship between His Holiness and the United States. His Holiness still uses the watch, and his teachings about the connection between science and religion remain an important and relevant part of his message. The Holiness says I'm always talking about the watch. Do you have it today, Your Holiness? Next time, 90th birthday. The connection has always been present in his messages to Congress, where he has had a strong relationship. So I am proud to bring heartiest birthday greetings from His Holiness's many, many friends in Congress, and they are truly friends on both sides of the aisle and both sides of the Capitol, in the House and in the Senate. On a recent occasion, I saw him there with Senator Dianne Feinstein, a friend of His Holiness and of Tibet, and John McCain on the same program. In our House this week, I joined with Republican Chairman Chris Smith, your friend, celebrating the occasion of His Holiness's 80th birthday, when we unanimously, His Holiness brings people together, yes, as was mentioned, but he also brings Democrats and Republicans together because the vote to celebrate his 80th birthday, Valerie, was unanimous. was unanimous. His Holiness's relationship with Congress goes back many years. It was mentioned that I've been in Congress 28 years. That would be in June. In September 28 years ago, it was an honor for me to join my colleagues in welcoming His Holiness as he proposed the historic 5-point peace plan for resolving the future status of Tibet. And he made that presentation to the United States Congress. I wish you could have been there to see that presentation 28 years ago. It did change our lives. In his 5 points, His Holiness was already emphasizing our responsibility to the environment. As it stated in one of his points, serious efforts must be made to restore the natural environment in Tibet. Tibetans have a great respect for all forms of life. The inherent feeling is enhanced by the Buddhist faith, which prohibits the harming of all sentient beings, whether human or animal. That is in the 5 points. It's important to know that when His Holiness received the Nobel Peace Prize, when he received that just a couple years after his visit to us, he was the first Nobel laureate to be recognized for his concern about the global environment challenge. the first Nobel laureate. A few years later, I wish you could have been there when our delegation to Rio, the Earth Summit in Rio in 1992, to see when His Holiness was so gloriously received at that Rio Summit, having again recently received the Nobel Prize. It was for the environment, but it was also for consistently advocating nonviolence despite extreme aggression in Tibet. Many of us were privileged to be together 10 years ago. You were there, Richard, for his 70th birthday in Washington, D.C. I had the privilege to introduce him with thousands of people. A crowd like this was there. Seems like yesterday, Your Holiness. When we awarded the Congressional Gold Medal in the Congress, that takes place inside the Congress, but so many people wanted to be there that we had to have an outside program as well. Thousands of people traveled from many distances to be there, to be in the presence of His Holiness. Massive crowds, I wish you could have seen them, turned out to visit him. When we went on a congressional codel to Dar es Salaam, our delegation was so moved to see His Holiness in his setting. And yes, Valerie, it was so incredible to see the faces of the little children being raised in the Tibetan culture, which many children in Tibet would be deprived of that opportunity. It was also moving to see the anguished faces of people newly coming into Dharamsala over the mountains, just to report to His Holiness about the conditions in Tibet. I just associate myself with the characterization Valerie Glave because she described it so well. I wish that you could all see how embraced His Holiness. We know how respected he is in the world. It's such a joy to see him in Dar es Salaam. Of course, we want to see him in Tibet. Of course, as we see him today, we know that people all over the world would do anything to seek an audience with His Holiness. Tibetans have walked and hiked for months across the freezing Himalayan mountain passes. It is the most perilous escape route on earth. A month of walking over the mountains in the freezing cold. They all do this to be in the presence of the Dalai Lama. How blessed we are today to be here for an audience with His Holiness on his birthday celebration. For almost 8 decades, because he started as a child practically, the visionary leadership of the Dalai Lama has been critical to amplifying the voices of Tibetans in Tibet and beyond. His clarion call for freedom in Tibet is a challenge to all who believe in justice, in dignity, and in the power of the human spirit. Indeed, the situation in Tibet remains a challenge to the conscience of the world. Under the Chinese government continuing occupation of his homeland, Tibetans are losing their culture and their future of human rights situation is deteriorating. If freedom-loving people do not speak out against oppression in Tibet because of China's economic strength, then we have lost all moral authority to speak out on human rights anywhere in the world. When I say that to His Holiness, he said he prays that he can rid me of my negative attitudes, but anyway. As a young person in 1960, he's always young, His Holiness wrote a beautiful prayer entitled The Words of Truth, which proclaims, "May all fears from unbearable war, famine, and disease be pacified, to freely breathe an ocean of happiness and well-being." His Holiness's vision of happiness and well-being, so similar to our founder's promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, ensure that people of every faith and every nation have a role to play in improving the lives of others. His Holiness has truly lived this truth. In reading about His Holiness and the situation in Tibet, I came across a Sanskrit word, and satyagraha, and I learned that word in Sanskrit means nonviolence, and it also means insistence on the truth. Nonviolence, insistence on the truth. Isn't this exactly what His Holiness is about? Isn't it what we should all be about? And yes, under his leadership, we must, in a nonviolent way, non-negative way, insist upon the truth of what is right for the world and what is right for Tibet. By speaking out against injustice, we insist upon the truth by following the dedication of his life to the well-being of others, insisting on the dignity of every human being. His Holiness has indeed changed the lives of some of us. He has changed many lives. He has changed the world. He has changed history, and he is changing the future. Richard Gere and I recently wrote a Wall Street Journal op-ed in praise of His Holiness. We agreed that, in quotes, there's no better way to honor the Dalai Lama on his 80th birthday than by standing with him and the Tibetan people, vowing to keep their cause alive. Let us celebrate His Holiness with our actions. Let us honor his cause with our commitment to justice. Let us continue to work to fulfill the wishes of so many who seek peace. Happy birthday again, Your Holiness. May you continue to change the world with your loving message of global peace through compassion. Richard has said, I am looking forward to your 90th birthday. This doesn't sound like much after what Richard and Valerie said, but as we say in Italian, cent'anni. May you live 100 years, 110, 120. You'll always live in our hearts. Thank you, Your Holiness. Thank you, Your
Thank you, House Democratic Leader, Honorable Nancy Pelosi. Now our next presentation is a dance by New York and New Jersey, Chusum Dögar Tsogba. New York and New Jersey, Chusum Dögar Tsogba, Shena Chusum Chende Shingam, Simbi Shugiyin.
One, two, three.
La
记住，那出头内容，对些哪么皮为用？
哎呀呀呀呀，多看看多少内容啊！一看啊，搞不清内容啊，一呀。这是龙。这是个对阵，下日几把兵带，将军去插来，与马一死去了，路大所以路个。
China, New York, New Jersey, Chusum, Shena Choba. This is the end of our cultural program, but we do have presentation of souvenir to His Holiness the Dalai Lama by North American Tibetan Member of Parliament, Mr. Tashin Namgyala and Nobu Siringla. But before that, Chamrige Jidu Tashin Namgyala ki Mangzo ne Khonsa Chola Kadin Jidin Chue Simgi Böda Shebe Tenden Tudip Moto Nangyo.
First of all, I would apologize to His Holiness that for this extended program, and I will try to make it very short. As a Tibetan American and as a member of the Tibetan Parliament in exile, I would like to thank Valerie, Nancy, Richard, and others for joining us here today to celebrate the 80th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Your Holiness, your far-sighted vision has led to the Tibetan community in diaspora, including those of us in North America, being able to preserve and promote our rich heritage, as well as coming of a new generation of Tibetans that has the best of modern and traditional Tibetan education. Today, the Tibetan culture in its truest form survives in the Tibetan diaspora and community. Your Holiness' concern go beyond the Tibetan community. Today, the entire world recognizes your relentless efforts at promoting fundamental human values and for religious harmony. Your moral leadership continues to provide counsel to ordinary citizens as well as political and fellow religious leaders. While there's no way we can effectively repay your kindness, we have compiled the heartfelt inner voice of some of the Tibetans in North America that reflects our reverence to you and express our gratitude for all that you continue to do for the welfare of the Tibetan people. Thank you very much. May you live long, Your Holiness.
Thank you, Tashin Namgyala. New York mayor couldn't make it to the gathering because of schedule conflict, but we have New York City Commissioner Ms. Penny Abe Warden among us. Please welcome her. Thank you. Ditsamde jino khons kyamgun chimbu cholia mangzol langdo ge kalap sungsheji karin chinan zebe kyamchu sheyin.
Shush. Oh, yeah. My dear friends, I would like to say on this occasion I was born in the northeastern part of Tibet near Kumbum in a small village, and I was named Lamudhundrup. This small child in the course of time have now reached 80 years. When I look back in my life, I feel that I have done for the Buddha Dharma which can be demonstrated with logic and reasoning, and the purpose of which is to transform our life. So I have engaged in the study, reflection and meditation on this tradition of the teaching of the Buddha. And along with it, when I was around 13 or 14, I started giving teaching to people. So until now, based on method and skillful means, I have been practicing to transform within myself what I have learned and reflected on. And so accordingly, I have shared my experiences with people to help them. Of course, I have been brought up within the Buddhist tradition through within the Buddhist philosophical and practical tradition, but everyone else, the 7 billion Tibetan people, the billions of people on this earth are same as myself, wanting happiness and not wanting suffering. So Buddhism is for making progress within ourselves, human beings, and therefore I have served humanity, the purpose of which is to bring about happiness and joy in people's minds. When we talk about pain and pleasure, they have to do with our mind. And so from my experience, whether people are believers or non-believers, I have the love and compassion is the essence in our life, and therefore and many people have gathered here to celebrate my 80th birthday. So people have not gathered here with fear and apprehension, and but with the sense of abandon, we are all gathered here. So, as human beings, we share love and compassion with affection with each other, and that gives us joy, doesn't it? So when you look at me, you feel joy, and when I look at you, you also feel joy. So whether you believe in the religious faith or not, love and compassion and affection is something that is beneficial to us as humans, and it's also what animals will enjoy. And so if you are filled with, if your mind is imbued with love and compassion, then there is joy and happiness. And you can share the experience with others transparently. So from our gathering here, we can see how we can share in this experience of joy and happiness with love and affection. So everyone is gathered here full of delight in their heart and joy. And so these last 2 days, perhaps the general public may not have had good lunch today and yesterday. Despite that problem, you may have been sustained by a food of joy and happiness. So what we have to learn from our experience is that from the experience of this 80-year-old person, love and compassion has been the most beneficial in my life, and therefore you too should learn from this experience and be compassionate and loving and caring to others. And we have people who have been persistently helping and supporting the Tibetan cause. You have gathered, some of you have come here, and through you, regarding the Tibetan cause, just cause, I would like to thank everyone who have been supportive to our cause, our just cause. And still, the Dharma that we have in the land of snows, which is the Nalanda tradition, the truth of which is demonstrated by the Nalanda masters. We have a deep, profound and vast tradition of the Nalanda Buddhist tradition. And therefore, with regard to Tibetan cause, this is what we have kept alive, and this is a treasure of the world at large as well. And therefore, you are supporting to preserve this rich tradition, the profound tradition. And Tibetan culture is a culture of peace, non-violence, which is a culture of compassion. When you have compassionate culture, then there's automatically non-violence and peace. And therefore, the Nalanda tradition, which we have preserved for over 1,000 years. Of course, China historically is a Buddhist country, and we can, of course, contribute to the Chinese people as well with the Buddhist tradition that we have. And increasing number of Chinese are also supporting our cause. So our tradition can help not only the Asian continent but the whole world. The 7 billion people on this earth, amongst the 7 billion people, we have people who live in fear, anxiety, and therefore, on behalf of the Tibetan people, I would like to thank thank you for supporting the Tibetan cause, because we also served humanity. And then the Tibetan environment also is very important. You have praised me a lot. I call myself a simple Buddhist monk. However much you may praise me, I still feel I am a simple Buddhist monk. However high praises you may give, I will not become taller. And so when I received the Nobel Peace Prize, I have also said this, that I am a simple Buddhist monk, nothing, no less, no more. Sometimes when people are praised, then they become quite bloated. And then if they become too much full, then this balloon will burst. So I have pledged to dedicate myself for the well-being of others, and I practice that in order to benefit oneself and others. We say that I generate bodhicitta, this altruistic intention. Nancy Pelosi earlier asked if where is the watch that I received from Roosevelt. So when I was young, so Roosevelt sent me a letter and a watch and also a ship. And at that time, my translator was Chang Loma, who was sent by the 13th Dalai Lama to learn English to England. And so he was serving as foreign relations officer. So Kibu, I knew him well. And so he told me that there is an American watch that has arrived. And so since I liked the watch, I told him to bring the watch first, right away. Whereas the audience can be given later in the next days. So I received this watch. Of course, Roosevelt had sent his picture and a letter with it. But with regard to the letter, of course, as a kid, the silver boat actually, when I tried to play with it and put it in the water, it actually sank. But of course, the letter was very important. I never saw it. But last year when I met Obama, I was given a copy of that letter after nearly 60 years. So as a kid, I didn't really I wasn't interested in the letter, but the watch. And so with regard to the watch, when I was actually working on some machines, and the watch was quite close to a magnet, and then it stopped working, and it was sent to India. I sent it through the hands of the Prince of Sikkim. But after I arrived in exile, when when I came to India in 1956, I brought this watch with me to India, and one Indian foreign ministry staff, actually I asked him to take it to Geneva to mend it. And after I came to India in 1959, and when I reached Siliguri, where I had to actually rest for a few hours, and so I met there many Tibetans, and the Sikkimese prince also came to see me with the watch. The Indian official to whom I had actually given the watch came back to me. So as a kid, I asked to bring this, and I, even after we lost our country, when I reached India in April 1959, the watch seems to have also felt fond of me, and it was waiting for me there in India. So I have not brought it this time with me. So when I do my prayers, I put it in a drawer next to my prayer seat, and then sometimes I take it out from the drawer and wind it, the spring. And so Nancy Pelosi has seen that watch, and so that's why I just wanted to talk about it. So I would like to thank everyone, all the performers also. You have really put a lot of effort, and you have, of course, done a lot of rehearsal and preparation. And so please have a very good night's sleep tonight. I would like to apologize for taking so long here for this program, but I'm sure the public has really enjoyed being able to be with His Holiness and seeing His Holiness all this time. Next is presentation of the account statement by the organizing committee.
By the Tenship Organizing Committee's accountant, Mr. Tenzin Nobu.
시제 비미 용기
With due respect, happy birthday to you, Your Holiness. So all the guests and Tibetans and everyone gathered here, I would like to greet you. I would like to read this account in English.
All the financial records are in compliance with United States generally accepted accounting principles. Our gross receipts are as follows. As of today, with full sold-out auditorium, we have ticket sales of $1,363,500. Thank you all. We have more than 14,000 registered attendees from all over the world, comprising of roughly 12,500 attendees from United States, 1,000 plus attendees from Canada, and over 100 attendees from Europe and Asia. In addition to this, we have hundreds of volunteers, sanghas, and special guests. With our ever-supporting sponsors, we've raised a little over $95,000. Initially, to kickstart the preparation of Tensuk, all North American Tibetan associations jointly raised $37,000 as seed money to keep the ball rolling. Donation collections and raffle ticket sales sums up to $141,500, and miscellaneous income to the tune of $10,000. This brings us to a gross receipt of $1,647,656.53. Our expenditures are as follows. Our rental fee for the venue and service is close to $780,000. Our online ticket processing fee costs us roughly $67,000. The security arrangement cost us almost $65,000. Our miscellaneous income came to $307,500. We have allocated a sum of $15,000 to get an independent review of financials to add more credibility. This brings our total expenditure to $1,386,350.08. Considering all our receipts and expenditure, I'm glad to let you know that we have a surplus of $256,000. And to continue celebrating His Holiness' 80th birthday and to contribute in our own little way to help His Holiness' vision, 100% of the surplus will be distributed proportionally amongst community-related charities locally and internationally. Thank you all once again for making Tensuk a huge success. And as His Holiness always says, please be kind and compassionate to each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Tenzin Nobla. Next, we have Chidritash Namgyala, who will make a brief statement about the account.
As you can note from the financial statement, due to tremendous public support, we have a surplus income, and the organizing committee has made an auspicious offering of $155,555.55 to His Holiness out of this. His Holiness, however, did not accept the money and instead expressed his desire that we allocate this money to finance scholarships for graduate students and for the summer camp for Tibetan youths in North America. It has been long established principle of His Holiness not to accept any honorarium for the event in which he participates. The remainder leftover fund will be allocated to project that helps the indigenous people in Australia, the poor and needy in the New York City area, and the Tibetan Language and Culture School of the Tibetan Associations of North America. Also, as a trustee of the Dalai Lama Trust, I wanted to let you know, all you know, that none of the trust money goes to His Holiness. Instead, the Dalai Lama Trust spends the fund to assist social, cultural, and educational projects in different parts of the world. Di ani Dalai Lama ge tepse ngone Torin Lobion ta nashin chi chari nashin chul ya yasin gi sabjung te che mangule ya tusna chi ka chi person ta nashin chi ge dande chi tang ngun din san shu nashin ngula chi yob khong ne ani Australia ya dome miri ta ani New York kul ya nyamtha ta nyamtha ge dece che ta nashin chi ge chari 뷰미게 아니 산주 랍데게 돈돈 첼이야 믹세 투스탕 제 땅야 투스 까뮤 총송 아니 달레라메 게제게 지 겐진 햄소기 초미기 차네 세시 슈줄이야 건설 장군 전부 초네 송주당 망초 깔로 난갑이야 가두인네 다 인치겔 슈비나 호너리엄 텐데 슈야 가게 셰난게 요 말에 아니 가린다 지 부와 부와 있네 디제 창말로 지소 대제게 랭글 다멘 톨이야 소레난체 두스요레스 제테 년도 슈야치 투체나
Last but not the least, a thank you note and concluding remark by representative of Tenshu Organizing Committee, Mr. Namgye Dojila. Kadin Jedin Tenshu Kuti Chojung Ki Tuzap Namgye Dojila ne Tuji Chishu Sungshe Nangyu.
Laje Sishi Sugen. Zamli Shide Debe, Pebe Yongi Gongap, Lanameba, Chino Gonzajamge Bocho, Talam Changa Riku, Pemi Chidingi, Chidar Sawatapshi, Kadin Jedingi, Tenshugi, Soshundo, Shapsong Ngober, Konan Zebra.
So just as the North American Tibetan associations have requested, His Holiness kindly consented to come to this celebration of his 80th birthday here in New York, and would like to thank you, Sikyong, and the Speaker of Tibetan Parliament, as well as others who have come here. I would like to thank you on behalf of the North American Tibetan. And lastly, His Holiness has worked hard for the Tibetans, Tibetan cause, Tibetan religion, culture. And I would like to thank His Holiness, and I would also pray that His Holiness's aspirations may be fulfilled.
Core committee members, I bow my head in gratitude to Your Holiness for giving 2 days of profound teaching and inspirational speech. At the same time, on behalf of all the Tibetans inside and outside Tibet, we thank you, for Your Holiness, for your guidance and your leadership for the last 80 years. Your Holiness has been a source of inspiration to millions of people throughout the world. I would like to thank House Democrat leader Nancy Pelosi, Senior Advisor to President Obama, Valerie Jarrett, longtime Tibet supporter Richard Gere, Honorable Sikyong, Dr. Lobsang Sengye, Speaker Mr. Pemba Tsring, Professor Ming Shai, for your kind remarks. All of you have rightfully stressed that His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama is truly a gift to the world. I would also like to thank New York City Commissioner Abhay Vandana for taking part in this program on behalf of the Mayor of City of New York. Taking this opportunity, I would like to thank cultural performers from all the Tibetan associations, Buddhist community, Mongolian community, and the Himalayan Buddhist community for your time to share with us. I would also like to thank all the students and adults for sharing with us your feeling on His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which we compiled into a book. Finally, the organizing committee would like to special thanks to Namgyal Monastery, Nechung Monastery, ABC Home and Carpet, and to all the friends and benefactors and the public who are directly or indirectly involved in making this historic Gratitude Tenshu a very successful one. In gratitude, we thank you all.
This finally brings to an end to the grand celebration of His Holiness' 80th birthday. Tariki zegudi jugdum dhaga shugi ani 진호 고스경무 침부초 딩전에 지금만한 봐도 망조 마슈된 자제 주르나 도체나 삼로 Thank you everybody.